Hey everyone, I'm Sarah Subiata-Bennett, and welcome back to Let's Talk Local. I'm really excited about today's episode because I'm sitting down with someone who's got excellent ideas and real passion for the future of our city. District 11 City Council candidate Bill Roth. Bill's all about elevating Dallas to world-class status and bringing our city council together to work as one for the greater good. No drama, just a clear vision for a better, brighter Dallas. So if you're into local change makers and real talk about what's next for our city, you're in the right place. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and let's jump into it. Here's Bill Roth. Bill Roth, thank you so much for being here today. I know that you're a candidate for District 11. I am eager to learn more about you. I've only had the pleasure of meeting you once, very briefly. And today I want to delve into what makes you you and what ignited this passion and desire to run.
Well, that's very kind of you. I'm really happy to be here. It's really nice to talk to you and to meet you.
Thank you. Thank you so much. So just like I mentioned in kind of that intro to everyone who's listening and or viewing, would you tell us what ignited this passion and desire to run as a candidate in District 11?
Well, it's sort of interesting. I really never had any passion to run. I never had any thought of doing this. This was not an aspirational goal of mine.
Sure.
But I was recruited to do this, and I was flattered to be asked to do it. When the current council person decided not to run, several people from the community really reached out to me and asked me to do this, and they thought that perhaps my background and my skill sets might be advantageous to being helpful to the city and to working in this position. And after consideration and most importantly, making sure that my wife was in agreement with it.
Yes, that is it's necessary
that's
in my
the most important
opinion.
thing. Yeah. I really decided that maybe it was something that I could do and that I could do effectively and really help out.
I love that. And it's interesting to me because I know that if people are asking you and recruiting you, so to speak, to run, there must have been some type of information, understanding about who you are and have been your entire life. Can you tell us a little bit about your background and perhaps why people felt compelled to persuade you to run?
Sure, be happy to. My background is that I'm from El Paso. I went to a college in Washington, D.C., got a degree in finance, and then came back to SMU, went to law school, became an attorney, went into the real estate business with a relative for a short period of time, and then formed my own company, and I have a commercial real estate company. The reason I'm mentioning those skill sets is because I think they're valuable in what the task that I'm running for is important to. I've also been very active in the sort of the nonprofit community. I've been involved with my trade organizations. The industry is very important to me, both the legal industry and the real estate industry. I've been involved in my faith-based community significantly, and in other nonprofit social service organizations. And I think that background of sort of a technical, legal, real estate, financial, and maybe understanding the community and the industries that I've been involved in have sort of given me a little bit of skill sets that maybe I can use to help a little bit. And I come from a servant background, and I grew up in a family that was always participating and trying to help and trying to be involved. And this is my opportunity to do that. So I think that's what people sort of focused on, and that's how I got, I think, targeted to be included in this group.
Well, I have to digress just a little bit. Do you know that I'm from El Paso?
I did not.
Yes, sir. So I guarantee, and I'm not a betting woman. Well, sometimes I am, but we probably grew up on different sides of the city. Did you grow up on the west side of the city?
I grew up on the west side.
Of course. I grew up on the east side in Ysleta.
Okay.
So off
absolutely.
of Zaragoza and North Loop.
Absolutely.
So, I mean, when I tell people I come from very humble beginnings, only people who are from El Paso understand what that means to be raised in the lower valley, bars on my windows, all of that, because most of my friends who are now here grew up on the west side of town.
Well, that's a small world. It really is a small world. That's fabulous.
It is.
And you know what? That area of the east side of El Paso has really changed a lot.
Oh, my
it's
goodness.
Tremendous.
Oh, Bill, I just buried my mother.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that.
Well, both of my parents now are in heaven, and but she taught in Ysleta Independent School District for 38 years.
Oh, wow.
At Thomas Manor Elementary, and she was 84. She would have been 85 in March, and so my parents are both in heaven, and I lost them both over the past 2.5 years, and I still kept their home in El Paso. I have some duplexes out there as well. Do you have any ties to the city anymore?
We do. I do. I still have real estate there.
You
we
do?
Still have family there, and we're still active in the community there. And I love El Paso. It's a great city.
It is.
And it created, you'll appreciate it. Mm-hmm. It created a different environment to live in, to grow up in, to focus on, because it was so remote. And we really did have a growth and a background of helping people, having a community that was cohesive, that was not acrimonious, that was not divisive, that was community-minded, that was problem-solving oriented, and that was inclusive of people. And I felt that very strongly growing up.
Yes.
And it's some of the things that attitude, that feeling, is something that I miss.
Me too.
In our current situation and in our current community. And so to bring that little bit of history and community and feeling into a new community and into a new experience and into a new situation where we can help make things better is maybe an extra skill set that most people wouldn't understand, but that you might appreciate a little bit more.
I certainly do. The people from El Paso are so special to me. Not just humble and, like you said, community-oriented. And it is a sense of family, belonging, no judgment. I mean, humans are humans. Humans will judge. But it's just so welcoming and warming. And so now I certainly have a deeper understanding and appreciation for why you were recruited. It gives me great peace. Peace, actually. Yeah. So I'm thrilled to learn that about you. Tell me, if you wouldn't mind, how many children, if any, do you have, and where are they now?
So my wife and I have 2 children. I have a daughter who's I don't know if I should tell the ages, but
sure.
I have a daughter who's in her low 40s.
Yes. Okay.
And we have a son who's in his low 30s.
Yes.
Both are doing very well. We have a daughter who's our daughter and son-in-law are in Los Angeles. They're involved in the entertainment business.
Oh, good.
And we're very proud of them. They're very successful, and does mid-level television producing. He works at NBC in their public relations department.
Yes.
We have a 5-year-old grandson there. My son is here in Dallas. He works with me in my real estate company.
Oh, good.
He's also been very helpful in this campaign experience that we're having. And he has a 12-year-old son. So we have a 12-year-old grandson here.
Oh.
So we've got, really, we're very proud of our kids. And
that's terrific.
My wife has been a terrific connector for all of us to keep us all together. She has a specialty advertising business that does very well, and I'm very proud of her also. And so all of us have been very active. Everybody's been active in our communities. We've been socially active. We also have been family oriented, and it's nice to have a tight family, and we're very lucky to be in that situation.
Yes, I couldn't concur more about that. Just familial aspect. Monty and I, while we have a blended family, my twins are 12, so same age as your grandson here, and then his oldest is 11 and his youngest is 9. So and his oldest is about to be 12 in May, so he's almost 12. So 3 12-year-olds and a 9-year-old. So we are busy and in the throes of crazy living, but not just crazy living. I mean, for me as a person, but kind of seeing what's happening in the cityscape. I mean, there's a lot of crazy things, and your district has been at the heart of a lot as of late.
It really has.
Yes, it really has been. And it's mind-boggling to me because, I mean, you understand how that goes when you're looking at the city as a whole, and you understand the demographics of every single city council district, and then you kind of scale into this microcosm in District 11. What have you really admired with the present leadership, not just within your district, but the council altogether? And what have been some areas in which you've believed there's room for improvement?
Yeah, no, I think I've lived in the area, in the district, in District 11 for 45 years.
Oh, my word.
We're in the same house that when I got out of law school and got married, we bought a house. And we've stayed in that same house since we've been here.
That's special.
Which ties me to that community very strongly. It's a community that is important for the city. It's got some tremendous people. It's got some tremendous assets, resources. It's really a strong neighborhood and district, and it really is a leadership district in this community. And it's given me a lot of opportunities to benefit from being in that district. It has a significant stable population. It's got a good diversity. It has some of the most important real estate in the city that impacts.
That's right.
That impacts our community. It has some of the most significant traffic and highway and roadway portals in this city, which is significant in how we develop the city.
That's right.
It has some important tax and income opportunities that have impact in the city, and it's got a tremendously smart, educated, community-oriented population which is a tremendous resource to this community. And all of those things have an impact on the overall city. And I think serves as a great example for a successful neighborhood, which then translates into a successful city. And I think all of the neighborhoods could benefit by the experiences that I've had in my neighborhood, and also creating some of the visions and some of the opportunities to deal with some of the problems. Your question really focuses on some of the controversies and some of the challenges that we've had in our district, because it's a very significant part of the community, and some of the issues that have come up are very interesting opportunities to understand how problem solving can be done in future issues, and not only the positives of how to get problem solved, but also how to avoid the difficulties in making decisions that are not responsive to the community.
With that, I mean, my mind's just sitting here. In my mind's eye, I'm just envisioning all the different spaces. So not just my friend Scott Beck's Midtown, up to Pepper Square. And I just toured the Banner House a week and a half ago because we're at Park House. And I thought, well, if we're needing something more active, I know it's kind of right in this hub of so much that can be incredible. Can you speak to perhaps how you would do things differently with respect to just those two particular developments?
Sure.
What could be Midtown and Pepper Square as well?
Our district has really, Pepper Square is a significant piece of property. The Midtown Valley View development is a significant piece of property. The other area that you didn't really address, which is also significant, is the LBJ Corridor.
That's right.
Which is
Absolutely.
We really encompass some of the highest opportunity for development, but we also have some of the highest significant issues that affect the neighborhoods. And to answer your question more directly, these are all great opportunities to advance and to improve the quality of life in our district. But they have to be sensitive to the needs and the concerns of the single-family residents that live in that district. And the priority, in my mind, and what I've learned and what I feel very strongly about, is that the community that lives there, the community that has created a stable, successful, dynamic environment, is entitled to priority, and they're entitled to have their concerns addressed. They need to be, they are the rock, they are the bedrock of the community. And they're in the single-family residences throughout the city of Dallas.
That's right.
Should have the same honor, the same respect, and the same acknowledgement in decision-making generally. Sorry to be so long-winded, but that's the basis of how decisions, I think, should be made with regard to the development, the growth, the change in any community. People want change. People want updated. People are not adverse to improving the quality of their life. But you have to take into consideration the concerns and the issues and any adverse effects on the people that have created the stability for those successful neighborhoods. If a person comes to you to ask for a favor, it seems to me that the burden of proof is on that person to convince the people that have the priority that that favor is valid, is respectful, and is acceptable. Both parties have to be reasonable in their discussions. They have to be respectful in their discussions, but there should be a collaboration that allows the people who are the stakeholders in that neighborhood to not be adversely affected. I think that the city has a very strong position in participating in that process, and as either a collaboration partner, as a arbitrator, a mediator, a fact finder, a party that really can help the process go in a correct direction. And I think that that's the opportunity for the city. And I think in this situation with Pepper Square in particular with the Valley View development historically, and in some of the potential controversies that are coming up in the LBJ Corridor, I think the city has a responsibility, and the people that are involved in representing the neighborhood in the city have that responsibility to take on that position and that responsibility to advocate, listen to their neighbors, listen to the people that they represent, be responsive to the people that they represent, and serve as an advocate and a true representative of the people that are in that neighborhood. And I would hope that would be the job description for all the city council people throughout the city. And I think that vision, that thoughtfulness would help prevent more divisiveness. I think it would help prevent acrimony. I think it would help prioritize issues in the city so that we can get the city moving in the right direction, and that we can solve problems rather than deal with the chaos of creating the problems. We have a great, great opportunity. The city is a great city.
It is.
We should be a world-class city.
That's
and we
right.
can be a world-class
We
city.
can be.
And we have all the resources that allow that. And in the microcosm of our neighborhood, having people, having resources, having real estate, having growth, having all of these things are positive throughout the city. And so we all should have a common vision of prioritizing and making this place successful. And to the extent that the city council has the opportunity to direct that and create that vision, that's the job description, and that's the goal. Mm-hmm. And that's the benefit that we'll all have.
Yes, I appreciate that answer. It kind of gave me insight as to what your gifts are particularly. I know just sitting here, I can very much see wisdom, temperance, intelligence, and just clarity of thought and purpose. I wish that more persons would come forward who have those particular gifts, and especially that of discernment. How would you particularly intend to collaborate should you be elected? Because you have the unique skill sets, not just these inherent gifts, but the knowledge base to understand the developer's goals, yet the residents' goals. Right. How would you be able to orchestrate that collaboration of thought differently than others before you?
To me, it's not a difficult question, because I bring to any decision-making process that I'm involved in, I try to bring a decision-making process that's based in common sense, mm-hmm. that's pragmatic, that is fact-based, that's not emotional, that's not special interest designated, and that's problem-solving oriented. Mm-hmm. And you can't do that if you don't speak to the people, if you don't listen to people, and if you're not responsive to people. Mm-hmm. You have to have the ability to have a reasonable, honest communication. And you have to have people who are willing to try to resolve issues. And that collaboration, I think, and that ability to interact with people, I hope would be a skill set that I could bring to the table. Mm-hmm. I've had that opportunity to use those talents in other venues, whether it's in my own business, which we've been pretty successful in, mm-hmm. in the ability to work out arrangements, to work out transactions, to do business deals, to actually be able to create value and create opportunities for people in an economic and business sense, especially in the real estate area, in the legal area, in the financial area, which are all opportunities and all issues that we're going to have to deal with, but also in the nonprofit world, in the trade organization world, where you really have to collaborate with people to create goals, to create issue-based solutions to difficult questions. And you can't do that alone. You can't do that from a top down. It has to be a process that is really generated from the bottom up, based on facts, based on discussions, based on reasonableness, common sense, mm-hmm. Study, education, knowledge. You have to be prepared, and I think that there's that guidance is not unavailable in our community, mm-hmm. but it hasn't been accessed and it hasn't been encouraged. And I think maybe that might be an influence that maybe I would be able to have a positive effect on.
It's terrific. It's terrific insight. And I presume that you've been block walking a decent amount. I know that
we have.
Yes. How have those conversations been moving along?
You know, that's been actually one of the most interesting processes and things that have occurred in this process. I'm not a politician. I'm not politically involved. I've never really been involved in campaigning as such. But actually, block walking, meeting people, talking to them directly is really insightful. And people are concerned. And there's a huge amount of people that are not vocal. There's a huge silent majority of people that have concerns, but in many cases feel disenfranchised, feel that they don't have power to influence, feel that nobody is listening. And that was sort of the bigger goal, the bigger picture identification that I got from many people who I ran into and who I've had the opportunity to talk to, that they feel that nobody is there for them. And that resonated with me personally, that I felt like representatives were not there for me. And it's not anybody in particular. It's just generally that we don't feel like the governmental part of the organization of the city is really front and center with relationships to the citizens that they are supposed to be taking care of. The fact that you meet people and that there's somebody says, wow, you're willing to even say hello to me is impressive. Now, specifically, what are people concerned about? Overwhelmingly, people are concerned about financial security. They're concerned about physical safety and security. They're concerned about the leadership and the direction that the city is going. And they're concerned with just basic services. They just want to make sure the trash is picked up, the alleys are fixed, and the potholes are taken care of. And they want to make sure that they can feel safe and comfortable walking in their neighborhoods and going to the grocery store. They want to feel comfortable that the taxes that they're paying, which are becoming very, very expensive. It's expensive to live in the city, not only in our district, but in the city generally. They want to make sure that the monies that are being paid are going to the right places, that they're being managed, and that the stewardship of the funds that are being given to the city are being handled in a proper way. Those are not unreasonable concerns. That's what I think the city's job is to provide those items, those main priorities: safety, security, financial responsibility, and take care of the physical infrastructure of what you need.
Exactly.
That's what the job description is. And I think people feel generally, as I did, that maybe we had lost that direction and that significance of priority in managing what's going on in the city. The city councilman doesn't manage the city.
That's right.
And that's a realization that many people don't understand. But what the city council does do is they're the board of directors. They're the group that has the opportunity to create the vision, to create the priorities, to help establish a budget, and then to help create the goals that they can then help the manager implement to the extent that they need to. The job of the city council is to make the management department of the city accountable. It's not to be adversarial. It's to be collaborative. It's to be encouraging. It's to be thoughtful in helping to guide this city into a world-class city. The demographics that I hear about is that there's 8.5 million people in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. In 20 years, there's going to be 16 to 18 million people here.
That's right.
In Dallas proper, there's 1.3 million, 1.5 million people. In 20 years, there's going to be 3 million to 5 million people possibly. In my little business, you need to be thoughtful about the future. If we're trying to make decisions today for the future success of this community, we've got to be planning. We've got to have strategic goals. We have to have collaboration. We have to have thoughtfulness. We have to we have to have a management style and a leadership style that is oriented towards building the best, most fabulous quality of life and community that we can achieve. We're the 7th largest city in the United States. We are not insignificant. We are absolutely critical, not only to Texas, but to the United States. And we have a responsibility as leadership in the city to take that requirement of planning and growing the brand, growing the economic prosperity, growing our population, and creating value to our community. That's the responsibility of the governmental leadership. And it's a big responsibility. And it's something that we have the talent to do it. Let's take that opportunity and move forward.
Thank you for that. It's certainly just at the very baseline. I mean, essential, necessary. And I do pray that more voices of wisdom and collaboration do come to the forefront, because it's really been missing in leadership in general, from the very top of our country to every single organization and household. So I certainly pray that for our country and, of course, our city and state. Where would you focus specifically as it relates to crime within your district, but then on a broader scale within collaborative conversations with other elected leaders?
Sure. Listen, safety and security is an absolute important issue. And it's absolutely significant in all aspects of the management of the city. It's not just a crime situation. It's how does safety and security interact with all the other parts of the management of a big enterprise like a city, right? So, and I'm going to answer your question directly, but a little bit of overview. To me, the city is in a growth stage. We're going to be growing. We're going to have a lot of demands, economic demands, population demands, service demands, and all those demands are going to require funding. Funding is going to be tremendously important. And the only way you can fund these requirements for a growing business, a growing environment, is that you've got to grow the city. And you can't grow the city if you don't have an environment where new businesses can come, where businesses that are here can expand, where you can attract new residents, where you can be proactive and helpful in attracting and developing more people who want to create a stable community, where you want to have more tourists, where you want to have people coming to take advantage of the tremendous entertainment and cultural opportunities we have here. You need to have a community that is safe and is going to be receptive to people. And that's where the safety and security is so important. It's not just requirements for any particular neighborhood. It's a requirement for the whole city. And it may be the absolutely most important part of the future development of our city. Everybody is aware that we've got a limited number of police and fire folks here. They're absolutely essential. And we need more people. The need to expand the the security and safety community is vital. At this point in time, it seems that we're mostly reactive to the criminal situation and to the security situation. Our objective should be to create a organization, a police and fire and safety organization that allows for deterrence, allows for proactive involvement, that allows for preventive criminal activity rather than reactive situations. And I think that which this puts an additional pressure on the city to find the resources to hire additional people, to provide those people with the resources that they require, to provide them with the culture that allows for retention and allows for attraction. People want to be part of the city. And it allows us to recruit more actively and to find the best and the brightest folks that can help us. And I think that's the goal and that's the objective. So in that respect, we've got to find the resources to pay for that. We've got to provide, whether it's the funding for salaries, whether it's fixing the pension plan situation so that the police and fire folks feel comfortable that they're going to have a future, that we have to provide them with the training and the physical resources so that they can do their job effectively. We have to make sure that there's community interaction with the police. The police and fire are not adversarial. They are essential.
They are.
This is part of the community. The community needs to be engaged with them. They need to be part of the community, and they are. There has to be a culture there that the police are part of the community, not adversarial to the community. I don't feel like that's the case, but we have to maintain that direction and that culture to say that they are important. And I think that we also have to provide sort of infrastructure that the city has to provide other infrastructure outside of just policing. We need to have the basic technology. We have to have lighting. We have to have the ability to have the right resources, whether it's patrol, whether it's the cars, the facilities, the ability to manage the areas of town that need to be properly landscaped, properly secured, properly protected. And those are physical issues. It's not about people. It's about opportunities where we can help manage security. And I think funds for that are important, and they're available. And we should create that as a priority. And my earlier message was that we really do need to focus on priorities. And if security is one of the priorities, if city services is a priority, if watching and looking at the fiscal responsibility of the city is a priority, then that's the common goal. And anything that fits in those priorities should be superior. It's not to discount other issues, but you take care of the important things first, and then once those are solved, then you can start taking care of priorities that are lower on the list. But security is absolutely essential.
It certainly is. Is there anything else that you would like to share with any of our listeners and viewers? Your answers were thoughtful and also nuanced yet broad brushed enough to where I think you were able to cover a lot more that I wanted to ask in some of your other answers. Is there anything else you want to add before we wrap today?
I would hope that I could bring to the table a thoughtfulness, a preparedness, a collaborative effort to create common goals, common sense decision making, and really serve as an example, not only to my neighborhood, but also to the city generally and to the other city council people that we really have an important task, and our responsibilities go beyond our individual capacities. That as representatives of the city and of our neighborhoods, we are representing a much larger, important, long-term situation, and that this job is really important. And the folks that are in this job have a real neat opportunity to create a world-class city that everybody could be proud of, could be successful in, and could really serve as a light for other cities and other communities. And so we have the opportunity to be transformational if we do it right, and if we come to the table with the right attitude. That's what you and I grew up in a community.
That's right.
That was like that.
Mm-hmm. It really was, and it certainly.
So that's what we should aspire to here.
That's right.
Right?
It oozes from every part of you, which I just love, and I wish you the best of luck.
Oh, you're very kind. Thank you.
Of course. Thank you for being here with me today, Bill.
Well, thank you. Thank you so much for having me.
You're welcome.